Interest rates, interest rates, interest rates. I am tired of hearing everybody and their favorite buzzword, interest rates. Here's the thing. We all know interest rates are higher than they were a couple years ago. And it wasn't that long ago that we in the industry were standing around in our team meetings and saying, okay, this is the moment where for a few years we've had rapid appreciation and the buying power is going to go down because interest rates are up, and that's going to level out the prices of homes. And it just didn't happen. And we know why it didn't happen. It didn't happen because of the inventory problem. There's this many houses for sale and this many people that want to buy them. And that hasn't changed despite the interest rates. Here's what I think that means for the future. So buying power went down, buyer demand did not go down. So I'll be the first one to admit that I'm seeing some more houses sell for closer to the asking price and not as competitive. We're starting to see that, fine. But what I see happening next is we're creating a slingshot effect where there's a bunch of people that are either purchased or refied their way into a 3% or even sub 3% interest rate a couple of years ago. And so there are always going to be a contingent of people that need to relocate or downsize or upsize, or there's a need for them to be transacting real estate. However, there's a much larger contingent of people that are sitting and waiting for interest rates to get better. And what I think is going to happen when interest rates do eventually get better is that slingshot is going to let go. And when the slingshot lets go, you're going to be giving less money to the bank, but the purchase prices are still going to be higher. So there's a bunch of people sitting on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to come down. And when they do, they're all going to jump. So the question is, are you going to buy a house now with less competition and higher interest rates that you can refinance out of? Or are you going to wait for the interest rates to come down when everybody else jumps and then the purchase price is going to be higher? That's going to create the same frenzy that we saw just a few years ago with more rapid appreciation, which I think here in Buffalo, New York, we have room for because we're still catching up to the national averages and the state average, you name it. The house 10 years ago that cost $150,000 that now costs $275,000, that makes sense to me. And I still think there's room for it to go up more. So what am I saying here? If you have a need to buy or sell a house, the interest rate shouldn't scare you. If you're buying a house at a 7.5% interest rate and it does go down, you've already picked the house out and you can refi down. If you wait until the interest rates go down, the demand is going to push the prices up, and the actual monthly cost of this house is either going to be the same as these high interest rates or continue to go up. So what I'm getting at here is if you wait for interest rates to come down, you might not see that much of a difference in monthly payment between paying right now's higher interest rates and a couple years from now higher purchase price. What you will be doing is not being in that house for all of that time. And when you do get to that point in time, it's going to be a lot bigger of a headache trying to compete with everybody else to get that house. If you want to learn more about real estate in Buffalo, New York, feel free to subscribe. I'll be putting videos out every week.